And closer to home, we reverse American decline by getting back some good old common sense. The American people know we can't borrow and spend and bail our way back to a growing country. They know that deficits and debt threaten our prosperity and our posterity. They know we can't bail out every failing business in America, and they know the freedom to succeed must include the freedom to fail. And you know, this is not just about economics. One bailout after another, one takeover after another is not just bankrupting our government. It's bankrupting our national character. Separating people from the consequences of failure corrodes the fundamental virtue of the American people and is a prescription for permanent economic decline. So we have to end the era of runaway spending, borrowing, and bailouts, but fiscal discipline alone is not enough. We need to renew the incentive in America to create, to build, to achieve, and excel, permitting people to enjoy the fruits of their labor, built our cities, conquered our frontiers, and is what made America the most powerful economy in the history of the world. We must return incentive to the American people. But you know, that's not the president's approach. I was with him in Baltimore the other day. I had to ask him twice if he'd support across-the-board tax cuts, the way John F. Kennedy did, the way Ronald Reagan did. And I think the president pretty much said that he'd support across-the-board tax cuts as long as they weren't across the board. I mean, this whole thing about not wanting to do tax cuts for the rich, it's a phobia on that side of the aisle. Kind of reminds me of a time a pipe fitter came up to Ronald Reagan when he was running for president. He'd been being criticized for the very same thing. This pipe fitter apparently walked up holding his hat in his hand. He said, "Governor Reagan," he said, "I heard you're being criticized for those tax cuts for the rich, but I want you to go ahead and pass those tax cuts for the rich because I ain't never been hired by a poor man." Now look, the American people know what works and what doesn't. To reverse economic decline, we need fiscal discipline in Washington, D.C., and fast-acting across-the-board tax relief for working families, small businesses, and family farms. Get government under control, get government out of the way, and America will come roaring back. I promise you. And finally, to reverse American decline, we should recognize that our present crisis is not merely economic and political, but moral in nature. We must win back America for the fundamental traditional values of the American people, the sanctity of life and the sanctity of marriage. Marriage was ordained by God, instituted in the law, is the glue of the American family and the safest harbor to raise children, and it must be defended against the onslaught of the left in the Congress, in the courts, and if need be, in the Constitution of the United States of America. And we must defend life. We must defend life. You know, I believe that ending an innocent, unborn human life is morally wrong, but it's also morally wrong to take the taxpayer dollars of millions of pro-life Americans and use it to promote abortion at home and abroad, as this government is busy doing every single day. We need to restore the historic restrictions on foreign aid in Mexico City. We need to end all federal funding for destructive embryonic research. And the largest abortion provider in America should not be the largest recipient of federal funding under Title X. The time has come to deny any and all federal funding to Planned Parenthood of America. So stay focused. Send us a conservative Congress and offer principled solutions based on our timeless principles. That's how we win back America. This is our moment. Now's the time. It's time for all of us to do all that we can to preserve what makes this country great. If you can give, give. If you can speak, speak. If you can write, write. And if you can run, run. But do all you can. Now is the moment. And as you take to the field in the next 9 months to do freedom's work, know this: you will not fight alone. Engraved on the Liberty Bell are words of admonition from an ancient text. It reads, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land and unto all the inhabitants thereof." That old book also says, "Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty." Winston Churchill said before Congress in 1941, words to speak to our time and to this moment in your life. He said, and I quote, "He must indeed have a blind soul who cannot see that some great purpose and design is being worked out here below, of which we have the honor to be faithful servants." Men and women of Cpac 2010, there is a great purpose. You are the faithful servants, and His purpose is freedom. Let us do as generations of Americans have done before. Let us stand for what has always been the source of American greatness, our faith in God and our freedom. And if we hold that banner high, I believe with all my heart, the good and great people of this land will rally to our cause. We will take this Congress back in 2010, and we will take this country back in 2012. So help us God. Thank you for being here. God bless you all.